Left Behind is an apocalyptic fiction series written by people who actually believe in the rapture. Or, if we're being charitable, are pretending to believe in it in order to grift off those who do. In a fantastic piece of irony, it's also a DLC for The Last of Us, a post-apocalyptic coming-of-age tragedy about the love between two LGBT characters told in flashbacks between gameplay segments where one of those characters runs about slaughtering a bunch of cannibals. Unfortunately, The Last of Us Left Behind doesn't have a so bad it's hilarious film adaptation starring Nicolas Cage. Whatever the problems with the TV adaptation of the game, Left Behind was perhaps the most game-accurate episode of Season 1. But it does have some really fun, fast-paced combat, which offers the potential for some interesting, bite-sized challenge runs. Doing challenge runs or speed runs on The Last of Us, perhaps the hardest part is the mental fortitude to have to go through all of the unskippable forced walking scenes each time you reset. It doesn't take too long for the car ride in part 1, or basically all of Jackson in part 2 to get super tiring. If you're doing these challenges, burnout is absolutely something you have to worry about. And aside from the difficulty of the challenge, these slow scenes are definitely a big part of why it's an issue. With that said, this video is about an entry in the Last of Us franchise which is potentially more than 50% slow walking and unskippable cinematic gameplay. If you play it in full and do every optional story activity, the game is about 3 hours long. Whereas if you go as fast as you can through those areas and focus on the combat, then you can get through it in under an hour, closer to 30 minutes if you're speedrunning. Even then, at least half of the time will be spent outside of actual combat and gameplay. When you do get into combat, you get 2 short, straightforward sequences with infected, 2 relatively short encounters where you can set humans and infected against one another, and then, if you play on grounded difficulty, one of the toughest set pieces in the entire series. For context, this is like if part 2's runtime was only made up of the birthday gift chapter, the infected areas in downtown, the first tunnels area where humans and infected mix, and then the resort in Santa Barbara. Despite the weird contradictions, I do enjoy doing challenge runs on Left Behind. They're short enough that you can get multiple attempts in quickly, and Ellie's winter gameplay is one of my favourite aspects of part 1, and the actual gameplay in Left Behind is basically more of that, so we can have fun with it. I've now beaten Left Behind on grounded difficulty and whole game permadeath too many times to count. Here, we're going to focus on 6 specific challenges. No crafting. No explosives. No guns, no damage. No guns, kill all enemies. And kill all enemies, no damage. Each individual run was streamed live, and the videos linked in the description if you want to watch them in full. But for this video, I'm going to go through the challenges encounter by encounter rather than run by run, after of course establishing some ground rules. All 6 of these runs are on grounded difficulty, the hardest difficulty in the game. That means enemies at their most aggressive and alert, resources at their most scarce, damage at its highest, no listen mode, and no HUD to tell us our health, or how many bullets are loaded in our guns. In addition, Ellie cannot use melee weapons or hold her own in a fight like she can in part 2, so we're relying on distance and speed to survive. All of the runs are also on whole game permadeath mode, meaning that death equals a reset, so we have to get through the entire thing without dying. And from here, we'll show our settings like a start again just to confirm, because aside from just putting on permadeath and putting on speedrun timer, there are also certain rules you need to abide by for it to be a valid run, which are lock on aim has to be off, awareness indicators have to be off, high contrast display needs to be off. Enhanced listen mode, infinite breath and skip puzzle needs to be off, and all combat accessibility needs to be off. Beyond that, each individual run has its own stipulations, which are mostly self-explanatory. The only nuances to mention are that for no crafting we can use craftable items which we can pick up in the world as long as we don't craft them ourselves, and for no guns, the bow does not count as a gun. So let's dive in. Our first enemy occurs near the start of the game after we get the pharmacy key from the dead pharmacist. Coming back outside, we have a clicker wandering around. For the kill all challenges, we simply throw a brick at it and stab it. While for the other challenges, we run past into the pharmacy, the fact that it's alive allowing us to keep our sprint so that we can get through to where we jump down into the food court faster. On the way, with the exception of the no crafting and no explosives run, we pick up ingredients for a nail bomb. We can also pick up a health kit here, and Ellie doesn't start on full health in this DLC. On the kill all no damage run, we leave it be as the challenge started as no healing, and I happen to take no damage by the end. But on the other runs, we will be saving it for emergencies, as in the meantime we can replenish ourselves to full health using snacks available in the run. There is no automatic health replenishment in Left Behind, unlike the main games. To get through the flashback as fast as possible, there's some movement tech we can employ, including spamming X as we cross this narrow floor to make Ellie jump ahead of Riley, and using the persistent center dot from the motion sickness options to line up a double window smash, which sets us up to do the brick fight fast.
Yes! Brick fucking master!
Then we choose the forget it dialogue option as it's the fastest, and we can speed back into the actual gameplay. In the food court, there's more loot to pick up, as long as we're not doing no explosives, as well as a bottle which we want to take into the stalker fight in the garage. The no guns version of this is ironically probably the easiest, as we run to our first stalker, use the bottle to stun and stab them, then dash for each of the other throwable locations in turn in order to get the next one. There are 4 stalkers in total, so it's not a huge job. Before this point, we have no pistol ammo, but the stalkers do drop some. So when allowed to use guns, we can also get leg shots to stun the stalkers for a kill, which is especially useful if, as I did on my no explosives run, you chuck a brick away when trying to reload your gun as you don't realise the brick was equipped and both actions are on the same button. Nope, did not mean to do that. Our first snack is in the same truck we get gas from, so we pick that up, except for on the kill all no damage run. We do not pick this up this time.
Is that it?
The next area is the pet store, which contains 2 clickers and 3 runners. On our no explosives and no crafting runs, we sneak through and use the movement tech of aiming our pistol while crouch walking to avoid alerting the clickers. We then throw a brick to lure them away from the shutter in order to get out unscathed. In no guns, no damage, we take a similar approach, but instead of a distraction, simply kill the runner at the shutter, then pick our moment to escape. For no guns, kill all, we make our way through whilst killing each infected in order, stealthing the runners, but bricking the clickers before killing them. Slow, but effective. For kill all, no damage, we instead alert everyone by sprinting immediately, then climb back up onto the vents above the electrified water in the previous room and watch all of the infected go for a deadly swim. There are 4 more infected outside the pet store, 2 clickers and 2 runners. On 3 of our runs, not killing every enemy in the pet store means they don't spawn instantly, and we can run up the escalator to the helicopter to end the section. For the 2 kill all runs, a short wait for the clickers to separate allows me to brick and stab one, then the other, then use the bottles in the area to take care of the remaining runners with no problems. You first. In the next flashback, we can run straight up to the arcade and trigger the fighting minigame, and then speed along the water gun fight by losing, bringing us back to the present. Our next encounter is 3 humans outside of a record store, where we finally get a bow, useful both for the no guns runs and for the game in general. For no guns, no damage, we sneak through and grab an additional arrow before bricking the guy guarding the entrance and running.
You little girl.
A similar strategy gets us through on no crafting, though we don't pick up the extra arrow on the way. For no explosives, we stealthily take out one with the bow, giving us space to get into position to bottle and stab the next, then headshot the last. For no guns, kill all, and kill all no damage. The only difference is we bottle and stab the last. In the latter, we also need to avoid accidentally healing by picking up the snack in here, being close to other pickup items inside the store. Okay, it's still there. An air duct takes us from the record store to the clothing store, where for no explosives, no crafting, and no guns, no damage, we immediately drop down and sprint past the infected, breaking a window and escaping as the infected and humans fight. On no guns, no damage, as well as no crafting, it's a clean strategy, but we do take a shot as we go through the window on no explosives. Nothing to worry about in the grand scheme, but it obviously would have killed the no damage run. Oh, fuck you. The no guns kill all strategy is to throw a brick to alert the infected so that they take out the humans, who don't get any backup if we alert early in this encounter, and then pick off the infected after the fight. An arrow to the runner leaves just the clickers, who we can let separate before each gets a bottle and a stab for their troubles. Kill all, no damage. The main difference is we kill one human with an arrow before throwing the brick, since we don't need to save the arrows for the final fight. Then use a Molotov and guns for the infected, with a bottle for the final clicker after I miss some of my shots. Oh, bye-bye. After this, we go into the electronics store, where for no explosives, we set the infected on the humans as they drop in. And then with the humans dead, we set Ellie frantically running around to keep her distance and pick our moment to bottle and stab the infected. Kill all, no damage goes smoothly as well, though instead of running for bricks and bottles, we play it safe with arrow stealth kills on the infected. We approach no guns, no damage similarly, but early on we have to kill a clicker that alerts on us instead of the enemy, and have to Molotov a human who tries to take advantage. After this, we have a long wait for the rest of the enemies to fight it out, before we're finally left with one clicker to take out with a brick and stab combo. On no guns, kill all, we end up in a precarious position with the victorious infected stalking around our hiding spot, and have to use a Molotov to get out of it, leaving one runner to finish with a bottle. For no crafting, we go for the speedrun strategy, running to the left and throwing a brick right, before ducking behind the checkout counter. We have to heal because we took a critical hit, but we get out easily enough with one more non-critical hit. And with that, the final fight is upon us. Despite different strategies and damage in some runs, all of the runs are proceeding broadly as planned. We have no damage in the no damage runs, and none of the stipulations have presented a problem. With one exception. The no crafting run didn't start out as a no crafting run. It became one when we reached the electronics store, because that is where we would have first crafted on this run, making a nail bomb. Oh, I should have got the scissors as well. Okay. However, we forgot something along the way, meaning that we were unable to craft, thus making it a no crafting run, and the world's first no crafting grounded permadeath run on Left Behind, entirely by accident. So what comes next? There are two stages to Final Fight. The first being a relatively straightforward human skirmish, but the second being really tough and intense if you don't set it up properly. Namely, if you don't place 2 nail bombs ready to drastically reduce the human enemies, enough to trigger the infected wave. Obviously, we couldn't do that on a no explosives run, or on what was now a no crafting run, so that was where things would get spicy. Let's start with where things went as planned. For no guns, no damage, we used an arrow to kill the first enemy on the right, then a Molotov to kill one working on the shutter who was trying to reach Joel. 2 bottle and melee combos take out the next 2, then we lure another away in order to get another brick to kill him. We miss an arrow shot on the new enemy on the shutter, but a brick takes care of the enemy who gives chase, and the next arrow hits, leaving just one enemy, who we dispatch with another brick. We can then plant our 2 nail bombs and trigger phase 2.
Down there by the door. Got a pin down. Go finish her.
Fuck you!
The enemies who survive the bombs convene downstairs, but when we alert with another missed arrow, one chases us and comes very close to causing damage before a brick saves us. Killing him triggers the infected wave, and the fight leaves 1 clicker and 1 human alive, so we get each of them in turn to end the encounter. For kill all no damage, we start the same with an arrow kill and a Molotov, then lure most of the rest to a far area for a brick kill, a Molotov kill, an arrow kill, and another brick kill. The Molotov does give a damage marker, but this is a known bug with Molotovs and pipe bombs on part 1, which has been tested extensively by challenge runners. And as we were too far away, and Ellie didn't react either with a vocal or an animation cue, this means there wasn't actually any damage. Finally, a headshot on the last guy at the shutter ends phase 1. With bombs planted, the explosions this time kill enough to immediately trigger the infected, and we watch the last humans get eaten before killing the remaining 4 infected with ease. No guns kill all almost goes horribly wrong when a melee enemy gets 3 punches in after we've killed 3 of his pals. Ow, fuck. You absolute cunt waffer. We recover and heal, allowing us to retreat to lure in the remainder of phase 1 with brick and stab combos, and then take out the 2 on the shutter. However, phase 2 once again goes exactly as planned, leaving us to take out 2 clickers and a runner to bring it all to a close. On no crafting, we got the first 2 enemies with arrows before completely missing with the Molotov.
Bruh.
We then have to lure and brick the remaining enemies, which goes well enough with the support of pistol bullets and using cover to get the drop on them before taking out the final 2 on the shutter. But with no bombs to plant, we have to run and hope we can get the drop on them. This immediately goes to hell, but somehow we kill the first 2 without damage. Then we have 2 enemies with guns on us, and the one with the rifle closing in for the kill. We barely get the drop on him before his buddy alerts and get the rifle for ourselves, which helps us take care of the buddy. After we just get an arrow off before an unarmed enemy punches us, this turns out to be enough kills to trigger the infected and saves us. Really? We can then watch the carnage unfold before killing the 1 clicker that comes out alive in order to end the fight. Come here. For the no explosives run, phase 1 goes well. Arrow for the first enemy, pistol headshot the second, arrow the third, bottle the fourth. Regroup, lure in a 5th for another headshot. The 6th got 1 shot in, but a brick took him down. Then I could take out the last 2 from above. We were set for phase 2, despite the lack of bombs to help us, with 6 arrows. Except that after the first 2 kills, 1 enemy twice got critical hits on me. The second after I'd healed from the first, and also after Ellie didn't fire the bow when I released the trigger. Love when it doesn't fire. Thinking the run dead, I somehow managed to recover it with 2 quick arrow shots on advancing enemies, triggering the infected again. Despite being heavily red screened, this basically was enough to say I had the run. Holy fuck! And sure enough, the infected did the heavy lifting for me before I finished them off to clinch it. Holy fucking god!
Think about surprising me.
How the fuck did I survive that? After that, all we had to do for all the runs was to survive the scripted chase with Riley, which is easy enough. The hard part, the truly fun part, was the final fight, and we'd already gotten through that, even if, in at least one case, it was by the skin of our teeth. Being a DLC, Left Behind is overlooked in general by a lot of players, but in particular it's overlooked for challenge runs. Being a short playthrough, It's a good one to get quick wins on while building your confidence in grounded permadeath, and also getting used to Ellie's gameplay in part 1, which in turn helps a lot for the winter chapter of the main game. I've done many successful grounded permadeath runs on Left Behind, including a couple of no damage runs, multiple speed runs, and a speedrun kill all. You can find them all in full on this channel, and any further runs I attempt you'll be able to watch live on stream. The only thing missing is a film adaptation with Nicolas Cage. If you enjoyed this video, then give it a like and consider subscribing to keep up to date with all my content. Like the video that's just popped up, which YouTube thinks you should watch next. This is a Patreon and member supported channel, so if you want to become a member and unlock custom badges and emojis, early access to my videos, and your name in the credits, then click the join button below. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.